some of uh, some of those queries as we go along. So let me first start by introducing myself. I'm Ruhani Arora. I work as a technology evangelist with Microsoft. So what's the role of a technology evangelist? What do I do here? I help people to build apps, to develop on the latest Microsoft platform and technologies, and help both the students, the developers, the customers adopt the platform and build out really cool stuff. Today is an interesting topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how the technology has revolutionized our lives and how it has evolved in the last 20 years. So what's the purpose of the session? The purpose of the session is to understand what are the major changes that we've gone through. So a lot of you might be able to relate to the things that I'm going to talk about. We've grown together in the time frame of the past 15-20 years. You've seen how drastically it's changed, and it continues to change at a very rapid pace. Then we'll talk about what are the current trends in technology. Followed by, we'll have a brief discussion of where we are heading to in the future. Post that, I'll keep the house open for questions, any questions that you might have from a technology standpoint or in general questions. Journey of change. Nothing is constant in this world, right? You must have heard this very famous saying which goes that change is the only constant in this world. In the first few slides, I'll talk about how I have seen this transition in my life for the last 15 years. How I've seen things changing and evolving during this entire journey. So I've been born in the 90s, and I've seen tremendous amount of revolution happening on each and every front. Let's talk about how the devices have changed. I'm not sure how many of you have ever seen those dial-in phones and these CRT display monitors. The devices which used to be so bulky, so heavy, how they've transformed into a plethora of devices, the devices of every shape and sizes. From a form factor of 4-inch to 80-inch, we have devices coming in various ranges. Some that fit in our pocket, some that we look at an 80-inch screen. The world of devices has completely changed. With this, I'd like to share a very, very small anecdote of how life has changed. I remember back in the mid-90s, we used to have one landline phone at home. Then, and the calling rates used to be, somewhere in the range of 16 per minute. Every incoming call would get charged. You won't have those mobility. Looking at today, all of us carry mobile phones in our pockets. Every person in each section of the society carries a phone, and it helps us stay connected all over. The connectivity revolution has been immensely great. When you see, I remember during those studying days, we used to have one phone in our whole home, and whenever there was a call probably from a friend or a family relative. My mom would give me a shout out saying that, there is a call on the landline for you and you take it up. Now everybody at home carries, more than one cell phones. The moment you step out, your parents are not that worried because they know that they can connect back to you over a phone call. You're just a phone call away. This is how we've seen the revolution changing. People moving out across the 7 seas, across different countries, used to be a big challenge to communicate with all through. Now with this revolution of the internet and communication technology, you've seen that, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in here or you're sitting in the United States, you're just a call away to get connected to people all around you. This is a big revolutionary change that we've seen. And this has brought in immense possibilities that we're going to talk about, how the devices and the apps being powered by cloud are changing our everyday lifestyles and are making us more and more productive. One of the other examples that quote here is how search is transforming our lives. Search also has played a big role in how things have changed over, the way we consume information, the way we find information, the way we find answers to all our questions. I remember back in school when I was a third grader or a fourth grader, we did not have a lot of internet, so much availability of the internet and devices every time to connect to. We used to sit in libraries, search through books to find answers to all our questions and all our queries. Now anything and everything that comes to your mind, you just go ahead and Bing it. And Bing not only provides you with those answers, it also provides you with tons of content being placed in a manner that you can consume effectively. You can figure out what you're exactly trying to find out. So search is immensely transforming our lives. The way we are finding content, the way we are consuming content, any question, any query that you have, you just go ahead and Bing it. Or even, you just want to find out that what's the temperature today, you just go and type it in Bing, and Bing understands it itself. Instead of showing you tons and tons of web pages, it will just directly show you what the temperature is. Similarly, you're looking for the score of a match, you just go ahead and type in for the current match. The first result that you will get is a good display of the score itself. So technology is evolving at every step. So from being simple searches to being such searches which provide such an rich in enhancing experience, there has been change all through. Another area of technology where we've seen a big amount of revolution is changing the way we store data. Starting from a time when we used to have piles and piles of physical files in offices and piles of physical files at our home, we started moving to a digital world where we started. I don't know how many of you have seen those days of floppies where all the info, where we used to save all our programs, all our information on floppy disks, which had storage capacities of probably in MBs, 500 MBs or 512 MBs or even less than that. Now we are talking about, now we carry information in our pocket. You put in a lot of GBs and GBs of data on your memory cards, on USBs, on hard drives. We've started using hard drives which have capacities to store terabytes of data. Not only we are storing things on our physical devices, physical hardware with us, we are also storing data on the cloud. We are storing data which we can access through all our devices all at one place. No doubt the way we store data has changed. With the change in the way we store data, the storage of data has also become cheaper. There have been immense amount of innovations that have happened in this space. As we're able to store data cheaply, now we're looking to how to analyze this big data and find out meaningful information from all the data we can store. We can store tons of data coming in from all the sensors in every place. And now we are trying to mine this data to make context out of this data, which is another revolution of technology that we're going to talk about, that how big data can lead to a lot of transformation, how everything can become intelligent, how we can predict things using this big data, how you can predict before a machine fails, how you can predict things. There's a lot of prediction that you can do using the amount of data that you store. Then moving on, another thing that we're going to talk about is, a lot of you might remember that we used to store our music in cassettes and DVDs. If you've been in through the mid-90s, we used to have these tapes. We used to have tapes and cassettes for listening to music. Then came the digital revolution, wherein you completely now store everything on DVDs, or you store everything on your USBs. Not only playing, we've seen through an era where we saw the iPod revolution happening, where you just started carrying all your music in just one device, in your one device in your pocket, and you could store tons and tons of music. It did not limit only here. We've seen another this thing. Now you can actually use technology to just throw music to the device in your car stereo player and play whatever music you're playing in your car stereo. You can catch the we have apps which catch the music, and you can find out which music, which lyrics, which singer, which artist, and can derive more info on this. So basically, the way we are experiencing the change in the digital has been a good amount of change that we've seen in the past decade. Another interesting example that I would like to talk about is the camera. A lot of you would have been through days when we used to get all these camera reels, and the camera developed through negatives. We used to have these film rolls, and we used to click images and would have a limitation of clicking 10 images, 20 images, and getting these images being developed from negatives. And it would take like 2 or 3 days to get these images to be processed and the albums to be delivered to you. Now after this we came in from these cameras, we moved into better digital cameras, where you could store all your photos in your memory card and store them digitally, and could transfer them to all your devices that you had and share it with people across the world. Another trend that you would have, all of you, I'm sure, would have experienced in the past few months and days, is the selfie trend. Now you just, carry your cell phones in your pocket and primarily use your phone camera capabilities and click a lot of selfies of, you and your friends. We've seen, all the camera technology changing and shaping up, and you've got devices with 40 megapixel cameras. Some of you might have seen the Lumia 120, which comes with a 40 megapixel camera. So all those things, which were a part of explicit specific cameras and stuff like that, now you don't need to carry all of them separately. You carry each of them in your pocket, in your phone. Similarly, the similar thing happened with the watch industry. So a watch was a mandatory thing, 10 years before. We couldn't do without a watch. We do, all of us do need to keep a track of time. Time just runs away. Now you do everything on your cell phone. So your cell phone is your mini computer in your pocket. You don't need, explicit devices to click pictures, to have watches. And this may sound very, very obvious to you now, but the change that you can't imagine that, we couldn't think of these things, going back another 15 years back, you could not even think that, everything you would be carrying in your pocket. Some of you would remember even the sizes of, we used to carry when the phones first came in, it used to be a big, bulky feature phones. But now we've come into thin, sleek smartphones, which are becoming thinner and thinner every day. So this is how technology has revolutionized the past 15-20 years. Then changing the way we communicate. One of the communication revolutions we've seen happening through the phones. Another communication revolution that you're seeing today is a revolution of how we communicate. I'm sure all of you would have WhatsApp on your phones. We've started interacting with WhatsApp to connect to all our friends, families at a click of a button. We have Skype, friends sitting in the US. Maybe, I have a friend in the US. He moved out of the US. All of us celebrated his birthday together on Skype. So you can, you have such good mediums to connect with your friends and family across the world. Skype has no doubt broken all the barriers, a lot of communication barriers, and I'm sure a lot of you would have used Skype in some form or the other in some of the times. The technology that's building up is really, really cool. If we talk about WhatsApp, how it's changes our lives. So I just remember this trip last year where I was traveling all alone for a event at a campus, and in the evening I went out shopping. I saw a couple of very, very good, beautiful saris. I wanted to pick one for my mom, but I didn't know which color to choose. Then I thought probably, how technology helps us at our fingertips. I just WhatsApped my mom the pictures of two saris saying which color she liked. And I promptly got a reply back, and all my confusion of figuring out what to choose, what not to choose, was just a moment away. So the way we communicate has changed entirely. We are all on WhatsApp, Skype every day, every few hours, which is, amazingly phenomenal. Thinking back, 10 years back, I couldn't think that, we had something like, we started off with the messengers, the Yahoo messengers of the world, Yahoo messengers, Gmail messengers, Outlook, MSN, all these live messengers. We came in after messengers, became very popular. Now we have all these chat applications on the phone, on the go. So the world keeps you connected every time you want to stay connected with all your near ones, dear ones, for work, for personal purposes, for everything. Then changing how the gameplay experiences work. I'm not sure how many of you remember playing Mario on your systems. This I remember being, playing as a very first game on my computer, playing a Mario. From those, the gameplay experiences have completely changed. A lot of you would have used a lot of gaming consoles now. You would have played games with your Kinect. You would have played games with your Kinect and Xbox, where they could just recognize your gestures. You could play through your gestures and get a real-time experiences. So the way the gaming industry has completely changed, and the experiences that you get via all these playing have completely changed. Now, I remember, back 10 years back, we used to have those 2-3 standard games on a Nokia mobile. Now, apart from 2-3 games, we have plethora of games on our smartphones. At our fingertips, we have, hundreds of games, which, probably we have multiplayer games, single player games, and a lot of games, etc. that we connect to. And fortunately, the technology is becoming interesting. So, I'll give you some tips and tricks as we go along, how you can go ahead and create your own games for mobile phones, for phones, etc. Another change that I want to talk about is changing the way we connect. So I don't know how many of you remember, in the past we used to connect using the dial-up connections, the modems. We used to, connect through our phone line and dial in and would have speeds of like 512 MB or 512 MB per second and 500 kilobytes per second to going to various 256 kbps, 512 kbps. And we used to sit all day long to connect it through our dial-up modems, and the modems would disconnect, and we would spend a lot of time just trying to connect into the internet. To a time when we talk about speeds in Mbps, and we just connect in through our Wi-Fi's. So we have Wi-Fi connections at home, and we would just connect in all our internet connected devices through the Wi-Fi. Not only we would actually go ahead and connect all our devices through the Wi-Fi. we could just make any of our phones a Wi-Fi hotspot and could just start sharing internet and, could just get our other devices connected together. Wi-Fi hotspot is extremely cool. Whenever I go out, I don't carry, any internet modem or internet dongles. Wherever I am, I just go ahead and make my phone a Wi-Fi and start sharing and start working. You can essentially and ideally, you can stay connected wherever you are. You just don't need to sit in an office room or your home to get a particular work done. You could just be sitting in the remotest corner of the country or in the remotest corner of the world with your Wi-Fi, with internet and your laptop, and you're as connected as you are when you're sitting at your home and working. So the way we've connected, the way internet has changed our lives is completely unimaginable, and it's not the end, right? Every decade there is a major change. This is one of the changes that we've seen. The technology is going and evolving at a very rapid pace. We'll talk about how everything is becoming smart, and how we will have trillions of devices being connected in the next few years. So these are some of the glimpses of the changes that we've seen in the past couple of years. And I'm sure a lot of you would be able to relate to a lot of these examples being presented here. A lot of you would have seen and gone through those phases of change where you've seen all this actually happening. I have a lot of, as I sat down preparing for, figuring out what to speak in this webinar, I just got a trail of, I could see how starkly different life was, 12 to 13 years back to what it is now. Everything is digitized, all the info, all the content, everything that we consume is digitized. We are connected all through. We are connected to our friends, family through not just one device, through various devices. And how we are, going towards building seamless experiences across all these devices. With this, I'll just stop in to take any questions. If any of you have any questions, please put your questions in the Q&A panel when we'll talk about how it is today. Then we'll see some really cool demos of, how technology is actually changing and revolutionizing things. And then we'll talk about where we are heading to in the future. So if you have any queries, put all your queries in the Q&A panel. Okay. So I guess there are no questions. You can always feel free to post all of your questions in the Q&A panel. Now we'll talk about, we've seen all those differences, all those changes that we've been through. Now let's talk about where we are today, the kind of environment that we live in today. Today, if you look about, all through the examples that you've seen, you would realize that mobile represents the single largest innovation of all time. We are living in a world which is all social and mobile. We have, I'm sure all the people present in here, would have either a Facebook or a Twitter account. We have greater than 1.7 billion social users. Social is actually changing, the way all the experiences that we are building around. So it's a great way to connect with, all your families, friends who you may not be touched in otherwise. So, with this, I just like to quote an example here. Sometime, probably, let's say 8 years to 9 years back from now, I moved into a different city. I left all my schoolmates, friends in there. I could just connect to a bunch of two or three of these friends, and I could not, keep in touch with all the other people in my class, all my other classmates. It was not practically feasible, right? Over a call, over a phone, you would be connected to 2-3 people who've been quite close to you. But when the social revolution came in, I could connect back to all of these friends via Facebook, stay connected, even though a lot of us live miles apart. But still, social connects us. Social connects us, and we know some of the important moments in each of our lives, and we can just connect through the social platform. Social is also changing, the way we interact. So I was, working on building a music app. So you could now, as you would seen a bunch of apps in the market, you could, now you can actually just see what your friends are listening to, what you are listening to. You could just connect with everybody socially. You want to connect with all your, might want to connect with your social friends while playing games and gameplay experiences. We no longer, we talk about social logins. In all our apps, we just like to have our, direct Facebook login. We don't want to, go through the hassle of going through creating logins for each of the apps that we access on our devices today. We just want to be socially connected, and have a social connection in all those apps. These things, social has been a game changer in the past few years. And social is definitely here. Then we've also seen, people voicing all their opinions and sharing good stuff and ideas, both via Facebook and Twitter. No doubt, mobile penetration is undoubtedly high. So you have more than 6.8 billion mobile users. So mobile users is actually touching the way, touching as many people as we have on this planet. We'll have one day the mobile connections which are equivalent to them. So everybody is, going mobile. From a market where we used to have feature phones, now a lot of us are moving all towards smartphones. Mobile forms a great part of technology, and you are at a great juncture in your lives as far as technology is concerned. You are in a world which is completely cloud first and mobile first. You can actually leverage these technologies and create great experiences. We have, if we talk about Twitter, we get more than 400 million tweets per day about products, services, brands. And can you imagine how many times does a person check their phone every day? We are so used to our phones that, statistics say that every day we, on an average, check our phone 150 times a day. Wow, man, 150 is a big number. So all of us have this habit of, checking our phones at multiple times. So phone and mobility are connecting us at each and every point in time. Today is a truly mobile first, cloud first experience with data at its core. So it's a mobile first experience with a plethora of devices that, you work with different form factors of devices at every time. You may be working on a laptop at your desktop or workstation or at home. You may, when you start on the go, you may, shift to your tablet or your phone. And you seem to have you want to have seamless experiences across all three devices when you make this shift. Also, you want to, have a continuous of whatever you were experiencing on your tablet to be experienced on your desktop and to experience on your phone. So this apps take a center stage on this device. So, with these devices, all at the heart of your phone, at the heart of your tablet is the apps which are present on it. So apps take the center stage on this device, helping you to be more productive, to do things more productively in a faster and an efficient manner. And these apps and these devices are not complete without being powered by cloud. So cloud is, cloud powers all your cloud powers all these apps and make all the scenarios relevant and provide similar kind of data, similar kind of experience on all your devices. So imagine, you started playing a game on your laptop, and then you just had to go out. You started playing on your phone. You want the score that you had on your laptop to, when you played on your laptop, to be carry forwarded to the score when you're playing it on your mobile. So you can do all this. You can do all this by saving, the application data in the cloud. And building applications is not a rocket science. We'll, see a quick demo of how you can, get started building with these apps at a very, very quickly using the App Studio. So we are actually truly in a mobile first and a cloud first world, where, everything is coming together magically, and you get everything at one place on all your devices, and connect to all people and at work, and can, very easily simplify our lives and become more productive and solve a lot of problems, a lot of technology problems using the mobile first, cloud first approach. Universal apps, as I was talking about, right? We want to have same app experiences across. So here what you see is basically three different gadgets here. On the leftmost section is your Windows phone. In the middle you see a Surface Pro, and on the right side you see a laptop or a desktop. You can, see that all your color combinations, all your settings, everything is being shared all across the three. So you can, we have experiences that you can use the same settings, same experiences all through on all the devices that you're using. You can continue to have same apps, same everything on all the devices. And more so, another interesting part to look here is that you can actually code once and run these apps on different form factors. So you could, create code for an 8-inch app, and it could run seamlessly and, flow seamlessly on an 80-inch device. Then you could just change a bit of, you could just tailor the UI to match a phone, and you could have the same app running on phone. So you can reach out to a large number of people by building apps for both the phone, the laptops, and the tablets. Apps are at the center stage of all this technology devices and the technology revolution. Let's talk about, then the fourth device that we talk about is our Xbox. So you can, build games for Xbox and could play using, and could interact with all these apps on Xbox using gestures and voice recognition. So when you integrate Kinect, you can just, the voice recognition, gesture recognition has all become, real. You can integrate with voice recognition, gesture recognition in your apps that you build for, in the apps that are being built for Xbox. So we very recently launched Xbox One on 23rd September in India. So where we had one of these apps where you could just say to Xbox, say, Xbox open Ghana. It will go and open the Ghana app. You'll say Xbox play. It will start playing a particular song that you want to play. With sitting at such a distance, you can just use the voice and gesture recognition, and you can just use the voice and gesture recognition and create great apps and experiences. So it's no more something that's a fiction. It's a reality. So we have all these things happening in real time. All these gesture and voice recognition technologies being utilized in the real time. Now I'll just quickly jump from my screen to show you a quick demo of App Studio. What App Studio allows you to build is App Studio allows you to build Windows and Windows Phone apps in a record time. You may or may not be a very strong coding developer. You can just leverage the App Studio to build these app experiences very, very quickly. And then if you are, and if you are too much interested to take these forwards, you can actually even get the source code of these apps and modify these source codes of this app in Visual Studio and take these apps to another next level. So I'll just start sharing my desktop. It'll just take in a minute, and then we'll see how basically App Studio is changing the things that we actually see. So this is basically the home page. This is the home page of the Windows App Studio. So you just need to, you can build your apps in 4 steps. I'll just play a video of what App Studio is.
My name is Holly Shore. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a mom, a blogger, and now a Windows Phone developer. I started Integrative Mom as a resource for new moms who really want to take responsibility of their health and the health of their families. I wanted to build an app to get my message out to a broader audience and let my readers get involved with my site on the go. I don't have the time to start from scratch, and Windows Phone App Studio helped me get moving quickly. First, I'll log into App Studio with my Microsoft account. Now I'm going to start designing. Oh, there's all these cool templates I could choose from. I'm going to add an RSS feed. Now I'll add my data. Easy as cutting and copying it. Now I'm going to add my YouTube feed. Okay, all I have to do is type in my YouTube channel name, and there they are. Next, I added a color palette aligned with my brand, a flip tile, and a custom splash and lock screen. Great, everything looks so good. Now I'm going to generate the app. I scanned the QR code, click to install, and instantly my app was on my phone. Oh wow, that was so easy. I just created my own app. I'm Holly Shore, and this is my Windows Phone app.
Here actually, with 4 steps, you can just have your idea. You can get started with a template and you can, just get started. You could just go ahead and, create those, connect them to data and have your app ready. And the best part is that you also get to download the source code. So, you can just add all your, you can add the RSS feeds, feeds from YouTube, Facebook, and get started with developing these apps to choose various themes, styles, and start building these apps. So today we'll just see what the technology exists. We'll subsequently, when we go forward in the sessions to come, we'll go deep dive into things, into all these things of how you can develop apps and stuff like these. And there's always, we have a very great resource called microsoftvirtualacademy.com. So you can always visit the Microsoft Virtual Academy if you are interested to learn more about any of these. So today's session is basically to understand what all has changed and what all exists in terms of a technology revolution. Then I'm going to now, discuss about some of the very cool demos that we're having with technology. First of all, I want to, talk about Cortana. A lot of you might have heard about Cortana. Some of you might not have heard about Cortana. What is Cortana? Cortana is your personal digital assistant on Windows Phone. Like you have Siri on the iOS. The digital assistant learns and helps you perform your daily tasks and reminds you of things. Reminds you if it's somebody's birthday, like a personal assistant, it reminds you that, it's somebody's birthday. It reminds, you can just go ahead and tell it that schedule a meeting. It will go schedule a meeting. It just works like a very personal assistant. A lot of technologies, machine learning, speech recognition have come together over the years to build these experiences using these digital assistant, which is still, which works great and continues to evolve. I'll just show you a quick great video of Cortana.
Cortana's here to make your life a little easier. Tap and hold the search button and ask her something. Tell me about yourself.
In short, I am your personal assistant. I try to make things easier to do on your phone.
If you didn't turn on Cortana when you set up your phone, go to Settings and swipe over to Applications to do it now. In the notebook, Cortana keeps track of what you tell her about yourself. You can go there to add new interests and to tell Cortana how to keep you informed. Once Cortana knows what she can help you with, she'll make sure you're up to date. She can check your favorite team's score, alert you about a flight delay, or see what the weather's like on the other side of the world. What's the weather like in Paris?
Right now, it's 59, with light showers in Paris.
Cortana can also help you take care of everyday stuff on your phone. Calling someone is as simple as saying, "Call Deborah."
Okay, calling Deborah.
Sending a text is just as easy. Say, "Text Adam, I'm on my way."
All right, I'll text Adam, I'm on my way. Send it, add more, or try again.
Send it.
Message sent.
You can ask Cortana to set alarms, schedule events, find a place to eat, and much more. One of the ways Cortana can help you is by reminding you about things. She can remind you at a certain time, or even when you're near a specific place. Remind me to call Mom when I'm home.
Okay, I'll remind you to call Mom when you get home. Is that right?
Yes.
Got it.
Or she'll remind you to congratulate your friend the next time you talk. Remind me the next time I talk to Adam to congratulate him on the new job.
Next time you talk to Adam, I can remind you to congratulate him on the new job. Is that right?
Yes.
Sure thing.
All of your reminders are in Cortana's settings if you need to see or change them. Cortana isn't just about work. She's always up for a chat. Try asking her a casual question such as, "Where do you come from?"
Human ingenuity. Battery required.
The best thing you can do to learn about Cortana is talk to her. You might be surprised by how she can help you and what she has to say.
So the next is the Lab of Things by Microsoft Research. The Lab of Things is basically a flexible platform for creating research that uses connected devices. So, if you want to build something around your connected devices, connected home, Lab of Things enables you. You can go check out the Lab of Things. Being a little short on time, I won't go into a lot of detail of what Lab of Things, does and how you can actually use Lab of Things. Then another cool demo that I want to talk about is Skype Translator. Skype, as you know, is no doubt breaking a lot of barriers. I remember, a very clear incident of how, translation can help us at a lot of times in our lives. So last day I was traveling to France, and I went into a big retail grocery store. And unfortunately, most of the guys there just knew French. And I had not studied French. I just felt sad, how I could have taken the course in French in my school days. But now, what to do? I needed something that I was looking for, and I wasn't able to find. And the guy at the grocery store couldn't understand what I wanted. So I just thought, what should I do? I brought out my phone, opened the translator app, and just typed the text what I wanted to translate, and showed the guy there, and he quickly understood, and my work was just done within minutes. So technology can really help you come out of difficult situations. So with this, translation is already helping us in a lot of ways. Skype is actually working on a very, breakthrough technology of real-time translated conversations, which will break any barriers of communication. In the country like India, you know that we speak tons and, we have lots of, languages across. We similarly, not only in India, we have various languages being spoken across the globe. What Skype's helping do? Skype is helping in a real-time translation. So, think you have a friend in Germany who only knows German, and he's done a brilliant research, and you want to understand what his research is. What do? On Skype, you can in real time get connected to him, and whatever you say, the Skype translator will do a translation and help you understand what the guy at the other end is saying, and it's all in real time. So all this can happen in real time. The Skype team is working on how to make this real-time communication happen on Skype. So all of you would have, already used Skype. This comes as a breakthrough. Skype is already connecting more than 300 million users every month. And, can you imagine, I don't know how many of you can take this guess that how many conversations happen on Skype every day. There are more than 2 billion minutes of conversations which happen on Skype every day from various devices. And with this new revolution, Skype is breaking barriers with real-time translation. I'll just show you a quick demo of how it's happening.
With a Skype translator, it all starts just as with any other Skype call. You just call someone. But now the difference is the person you're calling doesn't have to speak your language.
Die ich dir gestern geschickt habe.
But I wanted to talk to you about the email that I sent you yesterday.
Brauchst du noch irgendwelche Änderungen?
Do you need any changes?
There was one thing though. Could you change the green to a lighter shade?
Könnten Sie das Grün durch einen helleren Farbton ändern?
Ja, wir können das Grün viel heller machen.
Yes, we can make that green much brighter.
Ich sende dir heute Abend eine neue Datei.
I'm sending you a new file tonight.
That sounds great.
I look forward to it.
Das klingt toll.
With a Skype translator, it's a full human-to-human interaction that crosses the language barrier. It's truly a magical experience.
Another cool thing that I want to talk about is the Bing, how Bing is powering search across devices. So, Bing, you can not only go and search in your browser, Bing powers the search on Windows devices also. On Windows 8, 8.1, you can search not only from the web, it curates results from the things that are on your device and apps that could, you could be looking for. As we told, right? We are living in a world where we want to, surrounded by all apps. We also need to search these apps very quickly along with all the other searches that we do. So Bing is powering, powering all the smart search on Windows devices. So Bing not only, supports search on Windows devices, it also supports you can also Bing on Xbox Connect through all the gaming consoles. All the Xbox gaming consoles can utilize Bing search and make their searches. Then Bing is also a default search engine on Amazon Kindle. And the way Bing curates results is simply amazing. I'll just show you a very quick demo of how Bing Smart Search currently is. So if I go ahead and I say, I want to search for, let's say, Amitabh Bachchan. Here's a search charm that I've invoked on a Windows device. So if you've been using Windows 8, you would have seen this search charm. If I go and say Amitabh Bachchan, this is the result which, Bing gives me. The curation is simply amazing. It's just not a bunch of web pages. The way it presents the information in real time is actually amazing. It will give you a good hero image of Amitabh on the left. Then it will show you where he was born. Then you can actually pull out the news items followed by the related videos and images. Then you get the normal web-based search results that you're looking for. Then you have apps and then some other content being pulled from Twitter. I'll show you a great aspect of the image search in Bing. You can just go ahead and search these images in Bing. You could just say that you want to see an image of a particular type. You just want to see Amitabh in red. it'll just pull out all the images where, Amitabh Bachchan has a, is dressed in a red color. You could just say, you want a particular color. You want to, let's say, find out all the images which are blue in color. It'll pick out all the images where Amitabh Bachchan is dressed in blue. Isn't it amazing? This is, really amazing. Bing search has actually become really cool and really amazing. I'll encourage you after this webinar to, go try out the Bing search if you haven't already on your systems. With this, I'll just jump over to the deck. You've seen how Bing search is, powering the smart search. Then we'll talk about 3D printing. So 3D printing is another great revolution, which is changing the way we produce objects. So, you have 3D printers who can print things, from toys to small manufacturing items to a complete car. And very recently, 2 days back in Economic Times, I was reading that, people in India have also printed out a skull using a 3D printer. So it's not only revolutionizing the manufacturing market, the toys market, or, it's also helping out in all the, medical technology as well. So that skull had to be printed in 1.5 days time. And, they used in a 3D printer to print the skull in just a very precise skull with all the images in just 1.5 days time. Simply the way technology is going and headed on a path is simply really cool and really amazing. Now I'll talk about, where we are and where we are going, overall in the technology domain, where we're going as Microsoft in the technology domain. Vision. So our future is all about, as I talked about, is, I'll quote a very famous, quote a saying from our CEO Satya, who said, a few months back, we will reinvent, our vision is to reinvent productivity, to empower every person and every organization on the planet to do more and achieve more. This is our goal and vision. This clearly reflects our goal and vision as Microsoft. Now I'll, briefly touch upon some of the technologies of future. So one of the technologies of future, which is almost here, it's not, entirely for the future, is the Internet of Things. Internet of Things is basically connecting, having all your devices, everything connected via chips and sensors. So, talking about smart, and Internet of Things spans across industries. It could be a home automation solution where everything in your home becomes smart. Your fridge, your AC, everything is connected via sensors. You could just control all of them using a single app. And they not only become, connected via sensors, they also become smart. So, your AC knows when, your AC gets connected to the GPS on your car, and it knows when you are like 1 kilometer away from your home, it could just switch on the AC. Isn't it easy and amazing? This is just an amazing, amazing stuff happening. Similarly, we could have home automation. You could similarly have, when you're out from, it could also help in, security of your homes. So if you're out from your home, let's say for a period of 5 days, etc., the cameras could detect any change in, sensors and cameras could detect any change, any movement in and around your house, and could just send in alerts on your phone so that, you could just get alerted if there is anything wrong that's happening. Similarly, I talk about an example of how it has been implemented at some of the places. So one of the biggest elevator companies in the world is, is trying to, collect data from the sensors about the maintenance of its elevators. It sends that data to, it stores that data and then creates valuable information and tries to predict using machine learning, when the elevators are going to need repair, need maintenance. So everything is becoming smart, and we are, going towards an era of connected devices. We will have 1 billion sensors at a time, and there are limitless possibilities with Internet of Things. I'll just switch over and show you a very quick video of how Internet of Things is taking center stage. wasn't the video amazing, where you could actually see, you know, all the interactive information when the local news, all, you know, standing at the platform, and when the, you know, subway train comes in, you know which side it, you know, which is crowded, which side you should enter in, which side you should not enter in. All you could just see, you know, interactively the weather information right at the bottom. We can connect thousands of devices, you know, as we talked about in this predictive world, and create predictions around it. Then wearable technology. Another, you know, interesting domain that's opened up is wearable technology. We'll talk about how wearable technology is revolutionizing lives in, you know, in the subsequent session that we have next week. Wearable tech is really interesting, you know. There are a bunch of people in Microsoft Research who are just, you know, who are researching on wearable tech and how, you know, you could connect devices and sensors attached to your, you know, wearables, and, you know, can detect moods. So it could know when you are stressed out. It knows, you know, when you are stressed out, and say you know, your phone or your machine just saying, you know, take a deep breath and relax. Isn't it amazing? It could just detect your moods and cater to your moods in the way, you know, in the way you want. So wearable tech, all these technologies have immense potential and limitless possibilities to create out solutions out of these. And then this is simply a solution called eye gaze. This was developed at Microsoft had a company-wide hackathon this July using Xbox and Kinect. So, you know, this pro football player can use, you know, he cannot move his muscles, etc. So he can just, you know, by changing the gaze of his eye, he can, you know, actually type in. So this is a very interesting solution. I would, you know, encourage you to go and check out this eye gaze solution on the internet when you have time. And with this, you know, we're almost on time, and we're just completed of time. I would like to say a big thank you to you, and would encourage you to, you know, go look out, try for some of these things, and, you know, try Bing Smart Search, try how, you know, you can also develop things for Internet of Things. You can just go in and log into the website Internet of Your Things. For any other information that you want to build, you know, want to use about building apps, you can use App Studio. We have a bunch of courses available on Microsoft Virtual Academy to do it. Apart from all the resources, you can also always, you know, go and you can always follow me on Twitter and can, you know, tweet any of your questions, anything that you want, and I know I would be happy to help. My Twitter handle is @infinitythelimit. I'll just post my Twitter handle here once again, and I'll also encourage you. So, you know, as we started, so technology is cool, and I would encourage all the women present in the room to, you know, and to explore technology, to explore these technologies. They're really cool. You know, women consume a lot of technologies, so a lot of apps which are bought, you know, women buy more apps than men. So, you know, women consume a lot of technology. But as you know, right, women don't understand what men want, and men don't understand what women want. So, you know, you could go ahead, explore these technologies, and, you know, try building on these technologies. So I would just briefly touch upon the women. I'll just show you the Microsoft Women in Tech portal. So Women in Tech, as you know,